Welcome to the SCLS podcast series, powered by Fortinus Events. SCLS is a global platform where logistics, procurement, and fulfillment leaders unite to shape the future of supply chain excellence. Join our conversations with industry pioneers and disruptors as they reveal the strategies and innovations moving the world forward.
Welcome to the Fortinus Events Global Podcast Series. I am your host, Farida, and today we'll be exploring one of the key themes gaining momentum in East African supply chain and logistics, that is digital transformation. We are joined by Mukesh Deogune and Daisy Flora from Traqo.ai, proud sponsors of the third annual Supply Chain and Logistics Summit East Africa. Mukesh is a former NVIDIA researcher turned serial entrepreneur who has built, scaled, and exited startups across multiple sectors. Currently, as a founder and CEO of Traqo, he is developing AI-powered solutions to transform the logistics industry. Daisy is currently working with Traqo.ai in the Africa Business Development Division. She's a supply chain and business development leader with cross-industry experience in FMCG, water, energy, and utilities. Mukesh and Daisy, we welcome you.
Thank you.
Let's start with your journey. What drew you to focus on digital solutions for logistics? Mukesh?
No, first of all, I would like to thank you for hosting us. Really appreciate giving us a time and opportunity for this platform. So yes, so for my journey, I will be very quick. So my journey, if I talk about earlier, it's a transition from researcher to the entrepreneur. So earlier, my days, I used to be a researcher for NVIDIA lab. So we were building a hardware devices very similar to a smartphone to make trucks semi-autonomous. This was in 2017 period. At that point, I think ADAS was not even launched. So release few research paper in DNN, Deep Neural Network. Now the fancy word for that is a LLM, large language model. After releasing few research paper, I got recruited by one of the company. They were building a similar kind of hardware devices, but for both India as well as for the US market, especially for oxygen tankers as well as hazardous vehicle. Grew company from 0 to 1. Then that got me a kick the how to make a product as an innovative product and market to make it go to market, and the company will start using, as in the B2B markets will start using this product. That got me kick something of my own to start something again. So 2019 I started my own venture with name Signo, where the idea was to provide a driver management as a SaaS platform. Very simple application. You can post the requirement. You will get a reliable truck driver from that app. But 2020 COVID hit and we had to shut down the entire operation. But fortunately, at that point, many of the companies started approaching me, Mukesh, do you have any drivers available with you, especially for oxygen tankers and hazardous? We saw there is a good amount of drivers available with us, and we started providing drivers to them at the free of cost. They said, Mukesh, you are providing a driver. Why don't you manage the entire operation for us? We said yes, because this was an opportunity was keeping knocking at my door. So what ended up happening in a matter of 3 years, we grew very fast. We onboarded Fortune 100 company like DHL, IKEA, and Adani. Uh, we grew the company from three member team to almost 100 to 150 team members in a matter of 3 years. Uh, with a So in the blink of an eye, when I realized after 3 years, the vision which I started with was to build a pure software as a service business. Now have become a little manpower intensive business. So decided to take a break. So when it is decided, because my vision was to build something purely on a logistics SaaS, that's how the Traqo got born. So Traqo's vision was very simple. We wanted to build freight booking to billing platform designed for especially for manufacturers and cargo owners. So that's how this journey started.
It's interesting. Good to know about the various aspects of your career, Mukesh. Thank you for sharing it with us. So, next question is for Mukesh, and that is Traco AI helps manufacturers manage 3PL. What's the biggest inefficiency in the traditional logistics that digitization solves?
Uh, okay, so let me ask you again question to you. So suppose you are doing 50 shipments per month. In that scenario, no need of Traco. You can hire one single guy. He can take care for all the shipments on your behalf, and entire things will run smoothly. Imagine that 50 shipments goes to 500 shipments, let's say 5,000 shipments or 50,000 shipments per month. In that scenario, what you will do, you will scale horizontally as well as vertically. So when I say horizontally, of course the shipment volume will be increasing. Horizontally, we will keep on adding the manpower to mitigate those risks and handle it linearly. So in my journey, since I have been, the entire journey was like, I started my journey for managing drivers, then transporters, now I'm talking to manufacturers. So I know every piece which has been trying to solve by this small stakeholders. So the thing is that when you are scaling and when you are operating it such a large scale, the operation issues like poor selection of vendors, poor selection of vehicle types, as well as various cost leakages varies increases significantly. In this scenario, yes, there is a scope of work where the AI can take a role and handle this large scale operation in a matter of quick minutes or quick second. So that's how we want to solve an issue from the Traqo's platform. So, just to give an insight, for the company, those who are managing 3PL companies, those who are dependent on third party logistics management, even though they have an implementation of SAP, Oracle, or IBM, they still manage their outbound logistics operation manually by calling few drivers as well as vendors. Hey, can you provide me the shipment status? Hey, can you provide me proof of delivery? And various manual work. That's where we saw that there is a niche market for me to play, and building this ecosystem, connected ecosystem, where a single stop solution from freight booking to billing, everything should be handled by this platform. So that's how we are projecting ourselves right now in this.
Good to know that, Mukesh. Yeah. Okay. Now, speaking of gaps, East Africa's logistics sector is booming, but still relies on paper. What's the easiest digital upgrade companies can make today? We'll go with Daisy first.
Okay, so I think one of the simplest and easiest we can think of today is point of proof of delivery. So today you'll find a lot of delivery notes, especially where I've worked in before in the warehouses and when people are receiving in different branches of different offices. For example, if you have different branches in your company, you have a lot of paperwork that is done, a lot of manual signing. So you'll find when you have all this paper that is just floating around, you have risks of losing that paper. Then you have issues of disputes in terms of, did you actually deliver this, and what actually all these items delivered. So what I saw is, when I worked in my first job, when I did underwater and utilities, we used to have manual delivery notes. Now, for example, a system like Traqo today would have a module that would help you manage proof of delivery, where you could either do it on your digital platform or even on the mobile apps, right? That way, you're able to easily track um, delivery of items, proof of delivery, have the e-signatures there. And tomorrow you're able to go back and, recover something in case there's an issue. And of course, the obvious win on this one is saving of cost. Paper still costs money to buy. So once we're saving on buying that paper, and you're able to have that, digital footprint of our delivery that has reached, I think that's a very low hanging fruit and easy win. It's easy to adapt today, and Traco would definitely provide that in its platform. Yeah.
Okay, we ask the same thing to Mukesh now.
No, just to add on the Daisy point, I think that she's absolutely right on the things. The thing is that for one single shipment, there will be 5 to 6 documents which are being associated. This will be origin of certificate, bill of lading, proof of delivery, invoices, and everything. And like I said, if you're managing, let's say 50 shipments per month, it's good. You can handle those documents very easily. No need of anything. Imagine those documents handling at scale of 500 or 5,000 shipments per month. It will be a complete chaos operation, making sure there is no mismatch on the shipments, making sure that there is no issues related to shipments, because compliances is changing every day. When I say every day, let's suppose the company is handling the export movement or import movement, they will be in a deep water of troubles, because every day there is a new tariff which has been implemented. Every day there is a new regulation which has been implemented, and we as a platform, we are created in that level of ecosystem that you can take a proactive actions. So when I say proactive actions, before that even happens, we will make sure that your documents or anything is compliant enough so that you can start smoothly execute your operation without much more of a headache, like whether the compliances or damages that you will be paying in the future, uh, will it be solved or not, uh, without Traqo. So that's how we as a platform want to make sure that those compliance related irregularities should be solved immediately, as an ecosystem.
Okay. Thanks for your insights on this one, Daisy and Mukesh. Next is AI is everywhere now, as all of us know. So, talking about logistics, what's truly transformative versus just hype? Mukesh?
We'll be honest on this. People say that, okay, that AI is like one of the new magic which they are helping them to handle their logistics operation. But to be honest, in most of the platform which which I saw earlier, it's more of a workflow automation instead of AI. People use, when I say workflow automation, more of just created if and else condition. So when I say if and else condition, for example, if this thing happens, execute this operation. And people used to call it, oh, yeah, I built this AI as a platform and we are executing this entire operation. That's not an AI. You are just putting conditional and execution in one single paper, and it's you're just following those conditional approach. That's not the AI where it comes in. This is completely in hype. But yeah, this last 2 years where the development of the AI is such significant that now people are asking the question, is the AI is relevant for the logistics? Because AI is been implemented for CRM, AI is been implemented for project management. In fact, now we are talking about this podcast, so possibility that you, me also have done some level of research or via using some AI. So why not logistics? The question is, why not logistics? People, why not don't use want to use in the logistics sector? So that's the question that kept me up on the night. How we as a platform can use the AI in one single go. So to be in terms of transformative transformation which the AI can bring, there are multiple data which has been associated with one shipments. This includes customer information, taxation information, vendor information, and everything. So if you plot this entire information in one single Excel file, this will have minimum to minimum 300 to 500 columns as an Excel file, which I'm talking about freight booking to billing journey. Now imagine those 300, 400 columns multiplied by 500 shipments per month. And I'm asking you as a human, what are the bottleneck which has been available on this Excel file? Can you identify? That's not possible via human. But that's where the advantage of AI comes in and the large language model comes in. It can immediately identify what is the bottleneck, what you are missing, what key action you need to take immediately. That's where the transformation of the AI comes in terms of large scale operations, and the data is very like easily available in that scenario.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Mukesh. Now we'll move to the next question, which is for both of you, Daisy and Mukesh. How does Traqo's AI handle region-specific challenges like Kenya's traffic or Tanzania's port congestion? Over to you, Daisy.
So I've had the privilege of also interacting with a few TMSs that we tried to integrate locally in Procter and Gamble when I was working with the distributor here in Kenya. Now, one of the challenges we faced when we brought this platform was actually what you mentioned, handling the unpredictability of traffic congestion and all that was happening in Nairobi, right? And to some extent, because this system was not able to was not able to help us make decisions, for example, or help us view the data, as Mukesh says, view a lot of data, right? Looking at the past history and what has happened before, and then create some sort of recommendations out of it. Because that was not able to happen in the system, it was very difficult for us to move forward with that project. Now, what I see with Traqo and the difference that I see today, that I believe will be a game changer in the industry, is the AI learning bit. They have this the planning module, of course, now would work together with the AI learning bit, where if we're able to feed in the data correctly, right from training, we get people to feed in the data correctly from the beginning, we're able to build in a database. From there, the AI learning module bit of it would be able to give recommendations, and that is what would be a game changer, especially in Kenya, right? Because we do have some sort of pattern. in terms of how our traffic flows, specific roads, specific areas, we have some sort of pattern, and it's there because I've experienced it as a driver in Kenya. So once we're able to see that data in the Traqo system, I believe that we'll be able to pull out from the AI and get recommendations that would help further improve, right, our TMS system in terms of transporting the items, transporting our goods, and of course advising our drivers and all that. The same would work together with the Tanzania port congestion issue that you're talking. Today we have visibility on location status of where your goods are, right? I think that would be also a big one that we would be able to get in terms of managing Tanzania port congestion. For example, if you have history of different shipments coming from different locations, we would have some sort of trend that probably AI would be able to pick up that we would not be able to pick up today. So I think that's two of the big things that would be able to tackle this primary issue that you're talking about from the Traco system. Yes.
Right. Thank you for your insights, Daisy. We'll move on to Mukesh.
No, absolutely. Just to add on few points on the Daisy, Daisy is already correct on those few points. So when you said about port congestion, the problem is not related to port congestion. It may vary from before port congestion also. So it's a major D0 problem. So D0 problem starts from first the planning thing. Poor planning is where this kind of activity or mismanagement happens. This can be related to traffic. This can be related to port congestion, compliances issues, and for example, rollovers and then various sort of issues. So planning is the one where we are the one where we are bullish on. The thing is that large corporates, so when I say large corporate companies, those who are doing, let's say, 10 billion plus of revenue, they have those level of research as well as team where they put such amount of enormous effort in terms of planning in such a precision. For example, if their supply chain is like from door to door, from multi levels, multimodal tracking, or multiple states or multiple countries, so those proper planning helps them to take a proactive action. But the issue is that for the company like MSME or SME, smaller or mid-sized companies, those resources are not available right now. And because of that, that's where they start to see these small problems and they want to solve these issues. We as an ecosystem, uh, taking inspiration from this large corporate, of course, Procter and Gamble's and other company, those who has already solved these issues, bringing such large scale issues as a planning as a solution to a smaller and mid-sized company, that's where these smaller issues like port congestions, traffic, and this can be solved in one single go. And that's where we, from the day zero, we are bullish on planning, as in the complete planning of shipments from point A to point B. So that's how we are trying to focus our journey.
Sure. Thank you so much, Mukesh, for shedding light on right from the planning, the D0 stage that you mentioned rightly. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Mukesh, how do you convince traditional manufacturers to share their supply chain data?
Right. Uh, so let's suppose the company wants to share the data. So we as a platform, what we have realized. So whenever we are talking to any stakeholders, the key thing they are interested in, Mukesh, either you can increase my top line or can decrease my bottom line. The moment, so I'm not a revenue platform where I can increase the top line. I'm that platform where I can squeeze your bottom line cost leakages. The moment I'm able to show some level of ROI, when I say ROI in terms of cost optimizations or anything in terms of POC, small POC, they are okay to share their data, because we as a platform we have realized that if the stakeholders are able to drive the outcome from our platform and I'm able to deliver those level of outcomes, that itself gives some level of trust. Another thing is that since we are a connected ecosystem, so when I say connected, we are integrated with SAP, Oracle, HANA, Blue Yonders, and this many other large corporate ERP system. And it's not easy for any company just to integrate with this large corporate software as a service provider, because you need to have certain level of security clearance as well as various types of encryption, data encryption, and those level of certificates. So if we are saying to any company that we are integrated with this such a large ERP system, that itself provides certain level of confidence. And since we are a connected ecosystem, that data is much more secure on Traco's platform. And we realized that issue, that whenever for company those who are mid-size, for small size business, data privacy is not will be the primary issue. For mid-size and large corporate accounts, yeah, they will be focusing on my data is want to make sure that my data should be secure on Traqo's platform. So we as a platform, we started focusing how the data should be secure on our platform. So we started replicating very similar model where the SAP or Oracle is implementing their infrastructure. So you can consider as, if the data is secure on Oracle or SAP, in the same way we as a platform making sure in such data is arranged in such a way that it will be secure organization wise. And of course, if I'm working with multiple organization, that will be also be will be secure.
Okay, thank you so much for your insights on that, Mukesh. Now, talking about AI again, with AI taking over routing and tracking, what's left for people? Are jobs at risk?
uh will not say the jobs are, it's like a keeping people more on a driver's seat and taking a smaller routine boring jobs taken care by the AI. So for example, in our scenario, what we are trying to solve, so there are two types of uh, AI which has been designed. One is the operation agent. So what operation agent does is like, it takes all of your boring work. So boring work like manual reconciliation of proof of delivery. You want to check whether the proof of delivery is valid or not. Manual reconciliation of the invoices. So like validating all those shipments. So people will be spending, let's say, 5 hours, 6 hours on a daily basis just to validate the document which they have collected from logistics player. Those manual work is been solved, as in the labor work is been solved by the AI. So people are now taking a proactive action, as in, okay, now this has been done, how the planning should be done of the shipments. That level of insight has been given by the AI, but decision of course has been done by the human. So instead of wasting a time on the manual efforts, now people have, the AI is making them more proactive, putting them on the more on a driver's seat, taking a small task, reconciliations, validations, as well as in any sorts of irregularity, searching of those irregularity, making sure that they are up to date about the news which has been going on in terms of supply chain, logistics, tariff, or in terms of regulation. Those has been updated by the AI and given, and those updates is being provided to human as an insights, as a smart insights, so that they can take a proactive actions. So I will suggest, just to have a one liner answer for the questions which you ask, is that AI is making people more proactive, putting them on a driver's seat and taking a smaller chunk which has been manual work which has been there, has been taken care by the AI right now.
Right. So what I draw from your answer is it is reducing the errors while giving more time
Yes.
to humans to upskill, learn, and take strategic insights from the data
Yes.
that they get. Okay, that's really what people need to understand rather than fearing AI, because there's a lot of fear in the market, be it any industry, about AI. So yeah, putting AI to right use will definitely help in progress. Okay.
Especially for supply chain logistics.
Yeah, that's one thing, that's in supply chain and logistics. As I dive deeper into this industry, I realize that it is a big game changer. Like speaking to many of the leaders, and I have gotten the same insight that be it in supply chain as well, be it any sector, any segment, any division, AI definitely has a role to play, right from the planning till so yeah,
Well,
yeah, like we concluded that it's just how better we use it, that makes all the difference. Okay,
yes.
so as we now approach the last part of this conversation, here are some quick questions for you, Mukesh. What's one analog habit you wish logistics pros would unlearn?
Uh, can you repeat once again? What's the analog?
Habit you wish logistics pros would unlearn?
So we'll say for that analog habit which has been there is that, even though the data is available on the system, they still have a habit of manually picking up the phone and calling drivers, manually picking up the phone and calling vendors. So that's one of the habit I think that industry need to solve, because the data is already been available through various sources on their screen, but they still not have that analog habit.
Okay. So on the similar lines, you get to control or delete one outdated logistics practice. What would get erased?
So In terms of one manual thing which I can delete, will be, of course, the manual reconciliation. The compliance is where the company put so much amount of efforts on reconciliation of the documents for one shipment, because well, each shipment have multiple documents and they still do today manually. They need to look how to leverage software as a digitalized solution to handle those things.
Right.
Yeah, just to add on what Mukesh is saying, and when it comes to the manual bit, I think spreadsheets are still a big thing. You can end up with columns and columns and rows of lots of data and tens of thousands of spreadsheets that even make your laptops crash. I think the day when everyone could adopt digitization, I think it will be a huge game changer for the industry. Yeah.
Absolutely agree with that. I absolutely do. Okay, so Mukesh, finish this sentence. A supply chain without AI is like.
I would like to have Daisy to answer this. Then I will like to have to both answer
Sure.
for Daisy. If you have anything on your version for this, a supply chain. Can you repeat question once
Yes, I
again,
will.
Farida?
I will. Finish this sentence. A supply chain without AI is like.
A supply chain without AI is like just what I said, 1,000 lines of a spreadsheet.
So true.
So for me, it will be a ship without a radar. It is still moving forward, but it's still operating in a blind space.
Okay, that's interesting. The two views. Yeah. Okay, so Mukesh and Daisy, as we wrap up, if the listeners take one thing from this conversation, what should it be? Daisy?
I think from this conversation, we should take up the fact that I think what Traqo is doing is taking key learnings, right, from systems that have worked in other regions, but what they want to try and bring to Africa is something that is going to be very adaptable to the local market. I know we have a lot of systems that are out there, but being someone who's tried to even implement some of them, I think this system is something that has put in a lot of thought. The experience and learnings that have gone into it are vast, but they have not forgotten the fact that different regions require different adaptations to how they work and how they integrate and how they remodel. That is a big game changer that would probably be very effective and useful in an African context, in our context, rather than just taking one size fits all. They are really working on that, reworking, remodeling, adjusting, and of course, the AI bit is definitely something we cannot ignore. I think we've talked about it quite a bit. So I think one thing we can take away from the conversation is that we are probably going to have a system here that would probably be a game changer for the market. And if we are able to open up to it, I think we would have not only digitization, simplification, and also, of course, what everyone is looking forward to in 2025 is cost saving, right? So I think that's the one thing I've even taken from the conversation, and I keep learning more and more about the Traqo system, and I think I'm looking forward to it being integrated into both big, large scale, and small scale businesses because there's something for everyone based on how they have worked their model. Right. That's what I've gotten from this.
Thank you, Daisy. Mukesh?
No, I think Daisy answers already answered most of the things. Just we'll add two pointers uh, along with the Daisy's answer. Yes, I think she's correct. So this is a new generation. This is a new world in the AI. Now it's time for people to think about new things in terms of logistics. Traditional things will not work. If you're not adapting those new things, you may lag behind. So you have to think about the new way to use AI, a new way to look on the logistics and supply chain. Yes.
Okay. So that's all for today. Huge thanks to Mukesh and Daisy for sharing these insights. To all our listeners, join us to know more about these topics at the third annual Supply Chain and Logistics Summit, East Africa, this August 21st and 22nd in Nairobi. Visit our website to register. This has been a Fortinus Events production. Stay tuned for more updates and see you at the SCLS EA. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.